Yeah, English or Pali? Okay, starting with Pali then. Mayang aye tissaranena saha atta silani yachama. Dutiyampi mayang aye tisaranena saha atta silani yachama. Tatyampi mayang aye tisaranena saha atta silani yachama. We request the three, we, IA, request the three refuges and the 8 precepts. For the second time, we, IA, request the three refuges and the 8 precepts. For the third time, we, IA, request the 3 refuges and the 8 precepts.
Repeating after me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Reciting together in English. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Buddham saranam gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranam gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranam gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Together. To the Buddha I go for refuge. To the Dhamma I go for refuge. To the Sangha I go for refuge. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammang saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
For the second time to the Buddha I go for refuge. For the second time to the Dhamma I go for refuge. For the second time to the Sangha I go for refuge. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammang saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
For the third time to the Buddha I go for refuge. For the third time to the Dhamma I go for refuge. For the third time to the Sangha I go for refuge. Tisaranagamana nititam. This completes the going to the 3 refuges.
Ama aye.
Pāṇātipāta viramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from taking the life of any living creature. Adinna dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinna dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given. Brahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from any intentional sexual activity. Uposatha veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Uposatha veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from lying. Surameraya majjapamadhatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya majjapamadhatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness. Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Vikalabhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from eating at inappropriate times. Nachagita vadita visukadasana malaganda vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Nacha gita vadita visuka dasana mala ganda vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from entertainment, beautification, and adornment. Uchasayana mahasayana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Uchasayana mahasayana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from lying on a high or luxurious sleeping place. Imani atta sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
Mani atta sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani atta sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani atta sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
I undertake these 8 precepts. I undertake these 8 precepts. I undertake these 8 precepts. Imani atta sikkhapadani silena sugatim yanti, silena bhogasampada, silena nimbutim yanti, tasma silang visodhaye. These are the 8 precepts. Virtue is the source of happiness. Virtue is the source of true wealth. Virtue is the source of peacefulness. Therefore, let virtue be purified. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. For those who are either have stream entry or striving to obtain stream entry, I've repeated many times that an unblemished keeping of the 5 precepts is one of the signifiers of, or the characteristics of a person who has obtained this stream entry. So if you do your self-assessment, if you see, oh, I'm able to tell a lie, oh, I'm able to kill a bug, I'm able to take something that doesn't belong to me, then you will know that you have not come to the breakthrough. But when your heart changes and you will be unable to do those things, then you could say, well, perhaps I've obtained the breakthrough to stream entry. But the 3 additional precepts are not considered the characteristic of stream entry. The fasting, the daily fasting, avoiding of makeup and perfume and entertainment, and the complete celibacy, and the avoiding of high and luxurious seats and beds. So if one has taken those precepts, a characteristic of a stream winner would be that if you have a slip or a mistake with those precepts, you will need to take care of it very quickly to acknowledge the fault and make the determination. So this extra level of dedicated practice for those who are living at home, making a decision to spend this day keeping the extra precepts in order to support greater success in mindfulness and meditation throughout this day. That's the reason for doing this practice. It's good to test oneself to see if you can make one's virtuous behavior even more perfect, even more beautiful, and to have this be a source of joy and motivation. Not morality should not be something that's a source of stress, remorse, or mutual recriminations and blame. Instead, it's for you to use as a cause of happiness. Now, since we have a bit of time left, I would like to recite the morning chanting. Let's recite in English this morning so that we can appreciate the meaning. Yoso to the Blessed One, the Lord who fully attained perfect enlightenment, to the teaching which he expounded so well, and to the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, to these the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we render with offerings our rightful homage. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, still had compassion for later generations. May these simple offerings be accepted for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed one. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Now let us chant in praise of the Buddha. The Tathagata is the pure one, the perfectly enlightened one. He is impeccable in conduct and understanding, the accomplished one, the knower of the worlds. He trains perfectly those who wish to be trained. He is teacher of gods and humans. He is awake and holy. In this world with its gods, demons, and kind spirits, its seekers and sages, celestial and human beings, he has by deep insight revealed the truth. He has pointed out the Dhamma, beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, beautiful in the end. He has explained the spiritual life of complete purity in its essence and conventions. I chant my praise to the Blessed One. I bow my head to the Blessed One. Now let us chant in praise of the Dhamma. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One, apparent here and now, timeless, encouraging investigation, leading inwards, to be experienced individually by the wise. I chant my praise to this teaching. I bow my head to this truth. Now let us chant in praise of the Sangha. They are the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, who have practiced directly, who have practiced insightfully, those who practice with integrity. That is the four pairs, the 8 kinds of noble beings. These are the Blessed One's disciples. Such ones are worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of respect. They give occasion for incomparable goodness to arise in the world. I chant my praise to this Sangha. I bow my head to this Sangha. Now let us chant our salutation to the triple gem and a passage of encouragement. The Buddha, absolutely pure, with ocean-like compassion, possessing the clear sight of wisdom, destroyer of worldly self-corruption, devotedly indeed, that Buddha I revere, the teaching of the Lord like a lamp, illuminating the path and its fruit, the deathless, that which is beyond the conditioned world, devotedly indeed, that Dhamma I revere, the Sangha, the most fertile ground for cultivation, those who have realized peace, awakened after the accomplished one, noble and wise, a longing abandoned, devotedly indeed, that Sangha I revere. This salutation should be made to that which is worthy. Through the power of such good action, may all obstacles disappear. One who knows things as they are has come into this world, and he is an arahant, a perfectly awakened being, purifying the way leading out of delusion, calming and directing to perfect peace, and leading to enlightenment. This way he has made known. Having heard the teaching, we know this. Birth is dukkha, aging is dukkha, and death is dukkha. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are dukkha. Association with the disliked is dukkha. Separation from the liked is dukkha. Not attaining one's wishes is dukkha. In brief, the 5 focuses of identity are dukkha. These are as follows: attachment to body, attachment to feeling, attachment to perception, attachment to mental formations, attachment to consciousness. For the complete understanding of this, the Blessed One in his lifetime frequently instructed his disciples in just this way. In addition, he further instructed, the body is impermanent, feeling is impermanent, perception is impermanent, mental formations are impermanent, consciousness is impermanent. The body is not self, feeling is not self, perception is not self, mental formations are not self, consciousness is not self. All conditions are impermanent. There is no self in the created or the uncreated. All of us are bound by birth, aging, and death, by sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, bound by dukkha and obstructed by dukkha. Let us all aspire to complete freedom from suffering. The Blessed One who long ago attained parinibbana is our refuge. So too are the Dhamma and the Sangha. Attentively we follow the pathway of that Blessed One with all of our mindfulness and strength. May then the cultivation of this practice lead us to the end of every kind of suffering. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, Buddha, the Blessed One, the teachings so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Friends, this concludes the formal part of today's program. I wish that each one of you will have a wonderful morning and a wonderful, blessed day. filled with the Dhamma, filled with mindfulness, and filled with peace.